focus, articulate, or accurately create your artistic bags of flaming crap. You're discounted, not free for the gluttons. Don't get it twisted, it's still I included in that. Man up to abandoning tracks marked up with red permanence. Closet enclosure mills grinding skeletons for albums. Globs existing through amateur and proper mixing. Fiendish for the philanthropic tide love, not idling musician. Those useful getting evicted from ear chambers, skating through spin cycles. Is any evident vibration futile and purposeless to walk steps around hopscotch for toddlers who've not yet vanished? Haven't pulled that outrageous, start recounting some formulaic tried example of how wrong the populace pictures war-torn nomad artists, not peddlers or self-promoters, when cropping circles of bounding rumors or inciting unrest. Measure the distance from a minuscule last owl nest left to your corner furnace powered by vanished ancient forested land. Escape from a time not tripping about balance and not belching a mass extinction in form like a wave or comet. Statements blanket over time, space, and a great waste of effort, of which I received the highest rating of civil soldier for my time. Next to a fractured eggshell of a poor boy undercover. Some make funny songs so here's to rarely impacting this classroom of bleak headspace for sweet energy harvested in a cauldron boiling for witchcraft college dormitory students. Can't be castles on hills or barren dirt for tumble people who tried lakes for racing Mad Max buggies. Gibson can't convince me to go into battle without axes or access to a think tank, but obviously outdated. Factory farming of these songs, part-time's no assurance of substantial time gains and a tight strain of the belt. Fractured recaptured ghosts of secret service by self-spies who observe in nanny basket cases of heroin. I call them a gang. This is my oral presentation group project year 1 study. Present advantage to making dorks not a day of stubble. Vision a divine handiwork in our line of sight. We can't concentrate on single nation bodies with intestines of tract housing. Look for incentives for treasure diving in the bread or entering my room without a fireproof suit on. That's dangerous, except that when self-proclaimed legit authorities start drawing papers with mass kit or inflatable IRS agent for home auditing. Maybe our train ticket around a mountain range famed for hail. Plus minus signals with sugar and giant mixing bowls. Ruckus raised in rotten peanut galleries. I'm damn allergic. Substandard houses they planted like carpet bombs at rich neighbors. Distant kept in a clear hard wall bubble found boundaries. Chair next to a depressed toll attendants vacant. Haphazardly thrown together in an outsourced factory for great value. Accentuated moment of deep impact on packed and shipped. Upon delivery at your door I catch the brunt of your anger at the bill and the fact that I'm endlessly guzzling fuel. Fortunately for Lawson Robot Labor Incorporated, a no refund policy has been in place since we opened. Upon receiving another raging phone message on my office answering machine with that auto delete functioning, I'm forced to absorb every bit of frustration, exhausted, turning it into product and albums that may induce vomiting. Upon delivery at your door I catch the brunt of your anger at the bill and the fact that I'm endlessly guzzling fuel. Fortunately for Lawson Robot Labor Incorporated, a no refund policy has been in place since we opened. Upon receiving another raging phone message on my office answering machine without auto delete functioning, I'm forced to absorb every bit of frustration, exhausted, turning it into product and albums that may induce vomiting. My body shape don't fit atop any grand conveyor belt, and no will of my own. The destination is predetermined, instinctual matter of fact reaction to being shoved. Never the opposition striving to be audible within my own auto cage of a transport hearse coffin, blown by the wind at any critique of the movement. In part due to the lucky charms welded to my jewelry, rituals experience decay to the slacker newbie crew. Then do proud to be known as sibling to shell shocker soldiers, in spite of us circling and circling empty-handed, trading livestock like some viper and an eagle collide mid-sky. Fortune foretold us taking it apart, generated far too much lift, it was out of our hands. Negotiating with the palest terrorists make me scared of my own music. A cluster bomb, now the clusterfuck is gone, but it annihilated motives clearly. Our motif appears we got brave to the colorless. Opaque's how I write a jingle for the highest bidder. The populace can't see that it's driven by profit alone, alienating audiences with cojaim and pseudo-intellect. Nobody's concerned enough to check if the info stinks. Barely a living cell, regardless of the path it traveled, waterless, obsessing on the perpetual bitter taste on back of the tongue. Number one priorities and my actions differ. It was always a cover, any typical binding gag device that opened the veins again and yanked drains from the calluses, putting hits out on misfits contorted in their own form of abandon, left in the backward desert, keep mixing with dust. Soon the shadows cast by my buildings will be cooling yours. Now my energies are spent on taxes and pinning back red tape. Even the therapy returns with a more deformed face every week. Each hour I ingest more of the toxin. The sense of better the tarnishing of our silver years reached the point where even strangers perceive us in third place. Solitude we experience that rust last years on our chairs with no synthetic support structure, no walking or standing, no rolling or uphill battles with myself unreleased for some ethics anesthetize the audience before we attempt to pull a show out from a black hole that ain't too dense for you. That's my issue alone. It gets a scream for the special be negative static flake. Participation credit is dragging and checking heart rate. Beams radiate from each person, but I've given up on those. Swallowing single dips into cancer for fundraisers. Seemingly braver than costume characters in heat. Transfer burn frontage, it's tough to not look at it as ours. Next mosh pit, I'll let you completely infected is my career, my dearest lifeline to suicide. No one I feel secure, but it feels like always for once. My hands are fleshless, both in and out. They expected a boy band instead. Teachers question still what I'm leaving behind. With furious whistling, their hairdos like a wrecking ball to a child that should have sought counseling, escaping the eternal tail chase. Therese says, if that kid could reach from the frame and ignore the cool shoes, I don't think there'd be a problem now. My hands are fleshless, both in and out. They expected a boy band instead. Teachers question still what I'm leaving behind. With furious whistling, their hairdos like a wrecking ball to a child that should have sought counseling, escaping the eternal tail chase. Therese says, if that kid could reach from the frame and ignore the cool shoes, please ignore the cool shoes. You knew we were better off without self-pays, plans and payments. Checkerboard diagonal movement, mindset, mapped out the journey. We sacrificed limited options, no matter the changing winds. Wind up standing on a black square, same with the old-timers and most forward horticulture. Time to inhale a little bit more shallowly when parade routes our gasping kerosene rain would then be a blessing. Cause center dividers, they bear the most weight. Cause these days straddling the fence brings a better rapport with bosses. It preferred us choking our own opinions. Same with how quietly we accepted the lashes and any rope imprint dug in our skin from the lassos. Court years at executive meetings deciding our futures as equipment to be factored in the equation. We're not human. In times when I can don a suit with a shorter work week and not a lunch break, register other names besides corporate pet. Sell them once a yield when I'm constantly underestimated. Intimidation tactics brought in to destroy and confuse. Gremlins lashed onto my back with their nails deep. Focus to topple any breeding program to keep our gene pool shallow. I'm your new maintenance technician with no training. Deal with biohazards with open source on my arms and hands. Over the newsstands, marked onto the paper in my own vomit and pus. Anything to make my music more appetizing. So how does it look right now? Couldn't you see it appearing in any effective ads? Does it give you an urge to dance or laugh? Or does it give you goosebumps like it should? How about all of it? There's no comfortable temperature at 3 in the morning. My dreams of play, always ending detached as a toddler that can't act on his wishes. Each solo being spooned or forced. That I long for the trough days when I never heard locks on the trapdoors. No comfortable temperature at 3 in the morning. My dreams of play, always ending detached as a toddler that can't act on his wishes. Each solo being spooned or forced. But I long for the trough days when I never heard locks on the trapdoors. an economy car, go figure. I'm so sorry to the poor animals that have to comprise this ugly bag of manic sapien manifestos, though it's over, favorably inscribed in my palms and eyes. Told me what's lucky to the jackpot flamethrowers of friends, fastening for whatever the ride is, we're losing leverage. Hacked up inside of a glass mirror, tale-telling moonshine to any one of our brethren at fault for the errors with blood ties and muscles tearing a hole in our back and forth. Completely transfixed on the tops of the skyscrapers, boreholes with rapiers on the softest flesh of our small pond mentality. And old dogs live supplies free license to juniors, blind luck, walking Grand Canyon sightless, surviving. To them it's all a job, the focus drawn to the blistered hooves, sustaining the roster with plenty of pathogen for the fungus. Leave me screaming for a medic, the medic, they're all over the hospital. Never before had I seen my own ivy tapped. I tapped in and slit the throat of the disciplinarians. Hey, look at me mom with these blood stains. To obscure my view from the ancients, I weigh the deepest in rivers secondhand, jammed under fingernails, splinters, POW, and somebody jumped from the buoys the second before explosion. Commencement leak was sophistry, cause that isn't art. Here for the uppies, think optimistically I could become a mannequin. Best off leaking info to a foreign source. Surgical glove balloon on my head in the conference room. Almost ditched the vegetables in our jet stream. Any ball views, perfectly synchronized to our brain lapses and our ugly keep ourselves with negligible penances for dry dirt. Anyone with half a heart would have donated their armor to me, like the half of us to 3/4 with our backs turned. More like work for subjects in case of an extreme emergency. Break the glass, stocked to the gills with lighters and matches on planes. We'll be throwing sparks and obvious signals you're not wanted. Can't turn a phrase into believing in its own merit. Missing like grace my doorstep on weekdays for death of the present. No lack of aroma piled caked on for the models. Floating happy on a bed with the artificial, a chance for a name shower spliced in my code for the logs. The common occurrence of placing blame on a loss and admit it. The schizo writes and drawings as favors to the S-man and planet. Never once was at least clipped acceptably. Gurgling cough, self-inflicted degrading vitamin substitute. Weaknesses latched onto the short hairs. Fate had it that I'd be dangling from sandy ledges with wily and failures. On one hand I lost the catch with a handful of my own money. Lectured time and time again on surviving the wild in ourselves. Step with a marcher on top of a soapbox being pelted by food products and just enough coinage for the bus. Just enough coinage for the bus. My advice to you is just hide for now. Don't let an ass of reality singe dead skin. Drape over dry bones, fly over sun with no wax wings. People with paper say my hobby is steering away devils into a chemical mediated severed symbol. Collapsed forms made no counter evasions. Installed with destroyed malice and some oven explosions. Map on a trend graph how I marvel at land change. Scrape money together for a guest speaker to draw skull. Grow to your legs break, then take more pills for the pain. Sprawled out on 100 degrees cement in your slave labor. Promo to Caracas, my rival, and join the shade. People support dissolves in my face when I'm garbage. What validates you when your plans become jokes? No broken dream prodded until it's barely awake. Remember, 2 forks down, one I'll push that sluggish loser all starry-eyed. One path remains for a body abandoned and it's not scenic. We were always there for opponents and knew the long-term partner line could draw draw the blood. Never the fact that I deny pain could do me good. Bent over a second, we'll find our mates at a potluck. Fortunate package deal while my missing arms write the check. Furthering in time, it's a slushy walk and always flooding. And over life when it's not right for the picking. Fuck a huge thing, there's no place in the cosmos I won't add to. Someone once said shot me a sharp nose, stark blows to ego as I struggle for balance. Ended up packaged but with no orders or deliveries. I provide work to those committed to keep it mobile. This is not too personal for the masses. This stops being art the second I take off my glasses. With a lotto chance I guarantee that my neighbors will deny either. Stop on a dime only when it's my last. No restraints left, whether a desk or a leather strap. Homing in on positions where I knew my judgmental was not solid. Anyone else got those better suggestions? Far from it. Even to a mountain of waste I thought I got rid of. Hey, we're the heroes who wear ties. Heaven forbid that I don a get up so horrifying it intimidates the baggage handler from handing me my shit back. Hell, I got out of it without a tip. No restraints left, whether a desk or a leather strap. Homing in on positions where I knew my judgmental was not solid. Anyone else got those better suggestions? Far from it. Even to a mountain of waste I thought I got rid of. Hey, we're the heroes who wear ties. Heaven forbid that I don a get up so horrifying it intimidates the baggage handler from handing me my shit back. Hell, I got out of it without a tip. From morphing the backdrops to tackling insidious right. Jockeys beneath my feet, it's always a glacier. Charming obedient behaviors are choking my air. What I kick to the curb ends up on a stairway. No tactful angle to justify winning it back. I'll appease myself and never believed it was me convicted. Hopeless and goulashes of strength will help me quit using words like say you'd kill someone for a change, right? Not the rain or not the way I choose to paddle across current or skip boundaries I didn't even know were there with no infrared cameras to detect what we're planning. Hippity hop purist, I'm clearly shining on my armor. What about I'm firing bullets from the inside out, frankly staring into space at a layman, or peering in a soul's dry tavern. No prohibition laws and I exist, but hack up blood on occasion. Sweet, I'm left. I just hope I didn't make it too obvious or too sore for even winners to accept praise. Signify a break from your planned disaster. Planet's no black body, it's electric in my skull. That's why it's a nightmare to stay grounded, in which occasion I'll execute for profit. Any jackass can make money here by selling their skin for quality furniture and gags, but I kid. Harsh, hard, I stuff no sentences, and a once pleasant conversation in action figured them out as well. We still can't figure out who to dance with. Ignore an option, I could give an opinion and bring it up to your sick. Or place it upstairs to be released when I shed an arm hair on the trigger. Scream it burns as you bring it to light. Inject disease to prove how hard I talk to the air on my knees. This is the part where I get real dramatic. I can't float and pretend I'm jovial, it's not bitterness, but fuck your opinion. And I won't dote on it if it only means that I had a decoy by the neck and taste plastic. They won't cease to keep dangling carrots in front of my nose when I'm trying to stay sober, but then that doesn't matter. My goals have shifted to find water. You make no impression with a change purse. I can't float and pretend I'm jovial, it's not bitterness, but fuck your opinion. And I won't dote on it if it only means that I had a decoy by the neck and taste plastic. They won't cease to keep dangling carrots in front of my nose when I'm trying to stay sober, but then that doesn't matter. My goals have shifted to finding water. You make no impression with a change purse. I can't float and pretend I'm jovial, it's not bitterness, but fuck your opinion. And I won't dote on it if it only means that I had a decoy by the neck and taste plastic. They won't cease to keep dangling carrots in front of my nose when I'm trying to stay sober, but then that doesn't matter. My goals have shifted to finding water. You make no impression with a change purse. I can't float and pretend I'm jovial, it's not bitterness, but fuck your opinion. And I won't dote on it if it only means that I had a decoy by the neck and taste plastic. They won't cease to keep dangling carrots in front of my nose when I'm trying to stay sober, but then that doesn't matter. My goals have shifted to finding water. You make no impression with a change purse. Back on the line, clamp fingers and downpour. Hardly lonely, not the kid in bubble wrap, sun to star. Formulate delicate chum water for my precious beauty. Check consistency before allowing her to devour blood. Hog on a single row on flat ground, and then under benches recalls we can't fathom a single image. To save whoever's life, no offense, I'm obliged to dive head first in the cannon. someone back on the line. Plant figures and downpour, he's hardly lonely. Not the kid in bubble wraps on the star. Formulate delicate chum water for my precious beauty. Check consistency before allowing her to devour blood. Oddball that seem to roll on flat ground, and then under benches because we can't fathom a single image to save whoever's life. No offense, I'm obliged to dive headfirst in the canyon.
Bevmo cocktails, happily as an alter ego. We're square dancing, scared, tranced at a mirror figure in opposite color. Laundry gets larger and load his oxygen cycle slower. Far and up away from all the ask-kissed comrades to look under the barbed wire tar pit smoke screens. Loosen up whenever the scent of synthetics complement the atmosphere of any said round table chat fest. No one else besides us whirs in after revolving doors. Fear of commitment, skeptical of acquittal, but somewhere overhead circles of cliche cover-ups. Look to the kaleidoscope, maestros and well-wishers. By and large, my habit of trading limbs with the classmates had gone unchanged. I noticed no one even knew it, and the only cue could come from an unseen accident. Hands mangled while I make up with the solid flesh and cuticles. No one to laugh at my teaching style flips to madness, or how to find the probability. Checker flags never find us, giving up role as leader due to eye gouge fear tactics. Unforeseen blindness made a marriage more likely to stick. Harm in the path of admiral grandmother song we being. Start with Brambles, tiny swimmer stacked in the 3rd grade. Called a natural by peers and a natural fucked up by self. Black lines and shape of therapy to the beggar kid. Always attempted to try to hijack ocean liners in front of you to reduce a classic. Your response, get used to it. Counsel me on how to one-time muscle my self-loathing. Buried in the dirt and the artifacts of my trained phases. To articulate what I'm to accomplish. What I do with bomb threats unexposed on cliffs left and upon to suck the nutrients from open veins. Never gathering belongings together, prolonging departure. Know the Wiccans wherewithal, we're all smothered. Subtracting the claw marks left in the sand and twin urban trails in the distance. Like we better off to accommodate our lost assassin. Too many facts and figures to keep us looking straight down. Extreme spine curvature has been raising and doctors brow. I hear from dead relatives there's an excess of devil chairs in hell. What for the gurneys? Half our parties extinguished. Possibly the most dire prediction at my age. It's all forced. Thinking about it, it seems so easy. A ravel path went out from the meadow. King Death, we thought we had it separated. Easy to not do the killing or mislead with blanket suggestions. farewell to my never mind, I'm not quite there. However, the first attempt seemed to overcompensate as well. The cliffs crumbled around us, where Wile E. Coyote to the rats. Various color and who we admire for stature, whoever we choose to look to when our drunken intuition fails us most. Who comes with a gift basket, the gold of my frankincense? Offer some baby that couldn't tell the difference. If it's my throne in heaven, I'm sure earthly scent won't be vital. Lost in a pond, we're turning around, matches is meaningless. Games leave us in high spirits, mating dances to matriarchs. Fortified in rice cake, castles to shared arms brothers. March with a raised guard, burn in the flesh for consistency. My fault the profit margin rises farther beyond. Then I'll make songs about how great the songs are. I may commence listing the pilots when termed least worthy to hold. Feel it in your face when someone of similar physical skips about. Locked within the permanently constricted jawbone for good. Who invented the fork I used to hunt for dust mites and carpet? Ever about to throw it up, test clouds, see we've been better lie. Like someone who double parks behind me to ask a question. The force field tends to constrict and the density's my anxiety. Screw up if you choose to tell me exactly when I ask about it. It's less of a concern, consider the paradox of dealing with me. Like I was special, I give you permission to pick apart my carcass. Retract an invitation to grant full-scale access to minds. Cut up on a party platter, I'm just a sample with no displacements. In case we can't be completely stowed away safely, remember to leave holes for air, for air. Remember to leave holes for air, for air. So screw up if you choose to tell me exactly when I ask about it. It's less of a concern, consider the paradox of dealing with me. Like I was special, I give you permission to pick apart my carcass. Retract the invitation to grant full-scale access to minds. Cut up on a party platter, I'm just a sample with no displacement. Just in case we can't be completely stowed away safely, remember to leave holes for air, for air. Remember to leave holes for air, 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 for Hid in this universe, number 40 plays out of a brain made victim still wrecked to his bike. Plastered face, fancily painted, look China perfect with an unfinished scar. The purpose of letting rusted wheels squeak to annoy our colleagues is better turn more light a sequence to coin a phrase like something from hell. It brings back letters from our lost cousins, finding a prominent pattern of psychos. And should they all display their corsets in Sunday's best, covering empty eye sockets. Now the task is framing the family of pastel shades or sunsets despite their zombie-like outer motif. Or a subtle attempt to evade calling them monsters without a mirror. Losing touch with the marching rhythm and equated with the dust they walk upon. No sanguine square near medal awarded could get me to catch up with buddies. For a split second I caught a glimpse of the ghouls without their faces, and rarely seen worse. I've seen at the part where our muscles begin melding, no telling at which point the minds start converging. Let's Oprah, perfect balance. Will you give me sanity and I owe you talent? Not quite done Bogarting, yet a bit less acceptable putting my hands up for nothingness in each one of its sounds. Bleeding and spending the bleed and spend pen yell of the torture specialist, brief and quality pride in his job. Whose insane formulaic and shell hypothesis for saving flesh fails. Attuned to the last prevailing wind to a hemisphere with no landmass. Upscale living in North Greenland, where my nearest neighbor smiles equally frozen. The drawbacks no longer swinging from the vines, assailing unsuspecting primates to prove a high grain to body mass ratio is the shotgun the abrupt charges or a silly poem in a picture stacked on a high rise.
I've made like 5 mistakes in my whole life, but never an understatement. Inside my decorated hall-roof enclosure for only nutcases, when they find themselves lost to food for the buzzards and form of still breathing masses. Don't scream in another's lungs, okay, cause I felt to listen to. I pull janky maneuvers when talking my way out of debt for hospital bills. I won't pay for a hypochondriac diagnosis. Now in retrospect, the results are cataclysmic. Breath and cosmic cycles can call its witness cartoon characters from Marvel Comics to a test for a valid creation, worthy of transponders attached to every ankle, and a prayer in immaculate planetary unison. Never thought about chaining annoying spirits, felt that the factual manifestation, ridiculous criticisms, and printer person locks away anthro-sapien perversions.
Like running laps, a one-on-one is combustible, held to the most pressing lengths. Lack of compatibility with the air around me worsens the farce. Seldom floating except with demons, the old sob story to that's on the bench. Always the packed up ridiculous action, then broken. None to even be mentioned in the will for my sensible representatives. It seems to work out without them knowing it ever. Kick right back to the original curve for my face to get stepped on again. Inchwoman with cuts on the soles as monsters reinsert their talons. Formidable blow from the prospective, we were far from divided ready. Barely at the exact right section for the execution farming. Never felt so redundant or overprivileged. The slaughter takes place when we have to turn away from the sun. Slowly but surely I'll come up with the lines you hate. You'll sense well-being to start production on another useless line of crops or fires. Get lost in all the fashion, knowing it's the plasma screen that makes you hip-hop. My color to make it seem as if I'm a part of the problem with music. The bottom line is that the rhythm has the same effect. Without the chains and teeth, we call it emo and risk the teasing. Tell them to leave their pictures off covers and manage the slivers of themselves as one with the most raw product to justify markups and deals. But where are all the deals for us? Where are all the deals for us? For us? Where are all the deals for us? For us? I guess I'll always be searching for Rugrats calling me colleague on the lookout for someone more qualified. In fact, somewhere so fitting I get lost within the carpet. Only for the individuals with a given amount of lint left in their pockets. Still left with the swarmy swamp things raised to exponents in case. Fortified brandishing figurines, all of my strength comes from the plastic. About the conversations where they swore we should live in our own. Perfect for the premonitions appearing post-stream. We thought it was just psychic. For the wrap-up I'll receive a round of applause from red hands. Rugrats calling me colleague on the lookout for someone more qualified. In fact, somewhere so fitting I get lost within the carpet. Only for the individuals with a given amount of lint left in their pockets. Still left with the swarmy swamp things raised to exponents in case. Fortified brandishing figurines, all of my strength comes from the plastic. About the conversations where they swore we should live in our own. Perfect for the premonitions appearing post-stream. We thought it was just psychic. For the wrap-ups I'll receive a round of applause from giant red hands. Hot and caught you, a round of applause from giant red hands.
They caught you, a round of applause from giant red hands. They caught you, a round of applause from giant red hands. From giant red hands. And so for what it's worth, I'll try to wrangle in an extra seat, fortifying the barnyard, spectacle mistaken prizes. Sat up had only the marketing genius balanced on his toes for the crowd. Then I walked the streets with coward inscribed cardboard sheet on my body. Almost convinced me to give up the gamer sport for the flash reminders of when I used to be sharper. Ended up being my mistake. Let's talk about furious with presence of IRS hells chiming. Then they're budding and shoveling the snow on our lot. Lots of us tried to speak around you in a fantasy form. You'd accept Candyland transits through the bowels of my gutter traces. Accidents probably all that was left to happen. I'm set up to die on a subway or parking lot freeways, feeling like a bad appraisal. Surgically removing moments from days where I can spring from the plank or bounce again. Fearing up in water, can't see below you when legs are brushed. Saving from the cartoon cumulus, the air for never living with oxygen. I still shoot the shit with the bluest faces. I'm cured when I can chuckle at elderly men and women that stare at me. Take the prerogative, multiply its importance. Nest egg to the interest of all the designers invested in us. Roll over my entire faces for rifles fired. Superior to my current status, labeled as a veteran of any real war. Counseling of drone purveyors adding up. Standing as a free-time dancer when digging prospects. Breastplate to a barrage of arrows siphoned from above. For me an aspiring tree, I start feeling bad for the doctors. Left me nearly flying, apologizing to the therapist. Anyone who influenced mood behavior from a skewed point can laugh as a buddy. Thought it would be easier as a half-man. Get too intense with the breaking silence and equal reactions, all for the crazy people. Clowns see what's locked on our homes, or the evidence transplanted vast distances from subjects, making for a mock trial hung jury sitcom on our blood. Body fluid's all I consult with the unstable down fear providers, searching for simple solutions and potions for the faults. By default setting a fighter flight, clinging to the rail from certain attacks. Tactfully laying tax space opening seat in the defense department. Body fluid's all I consult with the unstable down fear providers, searching for simple solutions and potions for the faults. By default setting a fighter flight, clinging to the rail from certain attacks. Tactfully laying tax space opening seat in the defense department.
There's only one way to pull back from depression, and only one reason to lie to yourself. It's the easy way out to forget with distortion. You won't know you're stuck in your head if you're numb. You're sick of yourself and they're stuck on the same, and I'm set in the fate I can't help but resist. When I'm at the end and look back at what I've done, I don't know what I'd do if I saw me looking back. We're caught in the cycle of thinking. We all need to fight our way back to the surface. Remember again what it's like to make sense and fall into the need to pull ourselves together. The friends who are out to get you can only exist when you don't trust yourself. If the scars on the past will make you see it's not there to stop you from breaking away from yourself. It doesn't even matter what we're capable of. If we wait to do anything, fearing it won't be what we know we can do, then we already died before we even had a chance to wait for the wake-up call. The next time you get saved by the same one you blame, say your own goddamn name in vain. The next time you get saved by the same one you blame, say your own goddamn name came in vain.
Licking the wounds isn't the only thing keeping me from dying. Thanks to the lost tissue and hence air pockets, the only thing that's keeping me from drowning. Impartial observation, tailgate, nail biter, throw a ribbon around the sea where everyone else sank off to. Christmas, anything's in a feeling a place. Continue weaving a ripping web portrayed as a tablecloth. So they say and so it goes and goes away. Too cemented in opposed to ever one inch about it. Twirling flags at toga parties, the statements evaporate as alcohol uncapped. Always a slight step back, and on the first day after the anger rises we begin to collapse. So the merit badges to bare skin is proof that I'm the only one who ever benefited.
They make me believe I give up to keep me coming back, so I do what they want and don't think for myself. And repressing the thought that I just feed off them, I find some kind of peace till there's no one left. The memories are all self-implanted to save you from having to live with what happened. So when you repeat it, turn into the victim. You can't kill the monster if you never see it. You still need to learn to be upfront, cause misunderstanding transform into bitterness. Feelings not let out take over your logic, and now you're completely alone and suspicious. Fighting with hate you don't know how to manage. You live with a blade on your neck, you can't push it. And inside the back of your mind you realize that it started from something as simple as asking. Conclusions don't have any mercy, filled with assumption, and before you know it, there's only one thing on your mind and one thing in your life, and you know it's yourself, but can't see that. Insist on becoming detached and then get addicted to living off static. It's never too late until you say it is, unless all you can say is how much you don't want to know.
Somebody has to unclog my ears, what the wise men told me. Sitting still, I'm better to straighten up.
When thoughts are unnerving, just bury all the consideration. Think I'll put the building for pride of all the lost Americans.
Paralyzed, lifting up and over from an ocean. Analyze water, there's a drink for everyone.
Differences after the fact, I find all the stressing is only making me let go of trying to resist obsession.
Guest in a dirt castle, remove suits or furnaces. One less friend, I keep deciding to burn them up.
We trade off to facing our reasons for never telling the truth until nobody's here to realize it was all contagious.
Future freak shows with cell phone tumors. Love in a cage if it was my own apartment.
I've tried to move into the light I used to believe, it just had to come for me to see I never should have taken it for granted.
Splitting hairs on my head, often painful, always funny. Benefit captured over the counter.
I sit with my back to the ones I used to think that I could change and look inside advice I give away cause I don't understand.
All over Black Sea, I'm lost in reflection. All over dry desert, I suffocate in a
I'm
mirage.
only gonna give you respect if you give up yours. You'll never get to get away if you don't know how to move.
Frequent the skyline, drink beer from a urine cup. I'm met with a gasp, this is one of the better parts.
I always thought the answers wouldn't find a way to turn on me, but then I left and didn't know how to survive on my own.
Close piled to the coastline if I laughed too hard, and every complaint was
The
sarcastic.
more I take more than I need, the less I get back to the earth. It only seems to let me be when there's enough to go
Far
around.
be it from me to deny writing a letter of apology to deliver on silver platters. Everyone else but me knew what I was taking for granted. Fully noticed the catapults loaded, able to break through the white noise I noticed. Rejoice in reading affidavits aloud to the captives. Four limbs tied before limb becomes a part of the race, take it light. Everything was perfectly set up to have a nice hard game with, trimming up the bits of fat of excess gain with, while straight to focus on them the curtains collapsed at worst possible instances. Within an instant it came as it vanished, while I sat there stumped to listen to grandfathers on dead tree stumps ready to gush body fluids over neatly filed stacks. No matter what I won't hold it to them, and that's how I'm living. However brought up luxurious alone, in the blink of an eye square one stopped seeming so bad. No getting mad over the single teachers. Where were you to start from at once? The platform simply vanished. We hung on for dear life and thought to come full circle would be incredible, and now it's past new 50s, hit or miss. Next year I see it if you happen to drop down a couple of levels at carnival games. My glove is open to dodging pitches or returning to home plate is one spurt from cherishing where to begin again, but it was always there and will continue to simmer as embers. We toast the air suppliers and pound the entire glass. You cut it deeply even with all the fine print.
Let's set the car with a fold up and let's hope that I'm anemic, and let's propagate with no DNA interest in code us's. Let's set the car with a fold up and let's hope that I'm anemic, and let's propagate with no DNA interest in code us's. Let's set the car with a fold up and let's hope that I'm anemic, and let's propagate with no DNA interest in code us's. Let's set the car with a fold up and let's hope that I'm anemic, and let's propagate with no DNA interest in anything. Hold on, that's me, barbaric and loincloth, no snowstorm abounding, sort of a forecast calmed over the counter senses. Vertical only the sock puppet, flesh and blood. See, I'm lost in here too. First one to complete the cross-Atlantic swim, but I'm not helpless. Glazed over a pack of disgruntled union workers, I'll join them. Not part of the prize, solution our side can't argue either. While valued for my tissues as one awarded, then liquidated so fast I cook up too nicely pre-packaged, never live market. Cause of one another, I found that whatever issues could be sealed up swell too. I vanished, then clutched in through cramped fingers and miserable wishes. Felt like your feathers are seemingly weightless, but caring how handle. Best part about being dragged alive behind trucks is all the attention. Must muscles can't feel worse or more lethargic than textbook classics. Eric's in a pen shop bends to my bare last nerves. I finally get recognized cause of some famous name I could put a face with. Box with me, crack my cranium along with the crate it's trapped in. Then change all permissions to allow teeth as it boils down to it. Where's the down? See, I'm sure I heard it, leaving no royalties untouched. Unbound for as long as I jump around in caps and phrase. Bounce right over the wall the second I sprang up. I thought I had it, but so many others end up plastered on wallpaper, just objects. What I'm subjectively staring at, changing others' minds with a wand. A wave of the fist brand, his tooth getting gutsy on the mousetrap tonight. Laid down and taught the fun to be disemboweled, it'll get messy. Along with a prayer for your perfect family to hold hands, finish and form. Where to escape to when there's not a landmark or a mile sign. Some part of the whole one I could call the lot of us lost in the bricks. Last when I call upon the trained professionals we're caught in a pinch fixing. Everything working flawless, ask for a bonus, you're set up now. 7 to 10, 8 to 5, at least with friends, but seldom an extra. Battled with head cases, both internal and schoolyard bitches. Slowly turning back into the plastic sculpture they were. More than meets feeling from an arctic handshake between two intertwined. Gets more embarrassing as it passes along. 1 second closer to extinguisher recycling. At this point it's no longer healthy. So here we are, waist deep within the lost advantage. So who's behind all the shady business that's in our self-interest? Here we are, waist deep within the lost advantage. So who's behind all the shady business that's in our self-interest? Here we are, waist deep within the lost advantage. So who's behind all the shady business that's in our self-interest? All the shady business in our self-interest. Never sitting on top of it, the landscape in the third, shriveled and dry, covering up the scent of death with clothes rolled into fragrant paper, spark my own with the flint. Savor that handlebar with a pinch of your own benevolence. To the fact I'm actually always meandering, overwhelmed with decayed bodies. My charming, educated guess to try to ash and bone even the most significant and undivided portions. Me a kid with a conscience, over to the tissue becomes our companions, reminding me I exist even if dreaming. When it never ends, then I know that I'm dead. Finally push the rock farther up the hill, only laughing demons with water bats controlling the ending. What I get when cashing in earnings, bearded weather and feeling like the yearling I am. Practice slides off an auditorium's dance, eyes still shut, then it's just like with skeletons, always braving the bedroom gauntlet. Assailants with axes, all in the arms and strapped aside. Sneaky snakes devise a plan under the cover of dark, opening the venom sack for harvesting. Anecdotal the way I play off my lack of scientific knowledge, while so many others continue to panic. You're a step to my dick and a vice plant for you. Time I suffered for someone, as long as it's not for GW or some other large company. Despite the fact that I bought off, it was always the type of thing that I had to predict on a whim. If I was coming or going soft, latch another frame onto the axle and back that. Throw me a bone in exchange for gang signs and secrets. Split our minds, too late to come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Slipped our minds, too late to come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Slipped our minds, too late to come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Slipped our minds, too late to come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Now at a point where I care for too many committed in Nevada sounds to break. So when under stitched within the gland of the tear duct, fortune had it that the pot of gold was cyanide. Added the elements and notion of sublime and bravery, all with the topping of cherries. Change every workability, touch into a conversation with someone you'd least like to see that side. In a flash, navy of arms came right back to hold the spike breaks. It's made a mess of the life raft. Lickety split it on, covers the pack up and leave it to wishing. Sick of the pill in my throat, water around, save me a spot with a stick of clouds. A human to insulate the decayed canning hide. Leprechauns scream into soil the second I leak their secret, suffocate the will of a tribunal. Slipped our minds, so later come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Slipped our minds, so later come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Slipped our minds, so later come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. Thought it was my drawings are running into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb. Slipped our minds, so later come back with vendettas and letter bombs, but for somebody else. thought it was my drugs, offending into people I barely know that left my tongue right on the curb.
I can make a plastic cast molding from a person's skull. I can pound their malleable bones into art without a subject line of attachment in a meeting about the game plan. The most modest mages pick up on all the catches. I can make a plastic cast molding from a person's skull. I can pound their malleable bones into art without a subject line of attachment in a meeting about the game plan. The most modest mages pick up on all the catches. So bring no apology, the doors have shut, but we won't keep it exclusive. My style of ruining a lecture on an open porch, hardly becoming where allies light up in success on elliptical tables makes me realize it's not adult ADD, I'm an indigo child. You weren't better off outside of a crib missing a bottle. Put me in my place, that kettle's black and I like music poison. Regardless, we're too perfect for heaven, but lacking the deepest cuts as signifiers. While they have their talismans, wonder what matters to them after revealing bare metal. Bearing no sentiments in mind when I scream cut to my own right, but it ends up being a shared sarcophagus and one of us has to go first. I donated platelets for class credit, I'm not volunteering. Sue me, I'll sue you back, watch it settle the most petty of disputes. And a part of me pities the rest of the body hanging on images. Buying into the fact that this life on America's unavoidable. I can run on me running out of ideas and how I too am a company. We have the privilege to manifest anyone's dreams tonight. Choose a number at random but wisely. Use a colorful bonnet to hide your shame if you're a loser. We'll make it as quick and painless as Kevorkian will allow from his jail cell on a cell phone. But I'm not sure if he said 9 or 5 cc's. Being out of practice does that, reception sucks in his bunker. End result is the same, that's why you should have seen it once in person or hundreds of times in Texas for a casual head count of corpses. We have the privilege to manifest anyone's dreams tonight. Choose a number at random but wisely. Use a colorful bonnet to hide your shame if you're a loser. We'll make it as quick and painless as Kevorkian will allow from his jail cell on a cell phone. But I'm not sure if he said 9 or 5 cc's. Being out of practice does that, reception sucks in his bunker. End result is the same, that's why you should have seen it once in person or hundreds of times in Texas for a casual head count of corpses. Show me my way out of this jacket on hanger I'm still wearing at this time and from where I'm standing. Whales are gone, the sun's a lot hotter. Even more offensive to stare at and conjure your stupid meanings on life or whatever you write about. Just make sure it rhymes and makes me look idiotic. Synchronized perfect with meter, it's funny we can't get along. Indefinite binding agreements dropped prices and slashed all tires except the spare. They're fortunately considerate actually. Mention holes in my songs casually at parties, reminding me my head's a coastline full of winding roads of abandoned homes. But from this perspective, trying to live life as a dog who only sleeps. Knowing figurines who go to great lengths to keep to themselves. Hang from the chicken wire, a top of the line scarecrow with sarin gas cannons and a retina scan feature. Whatever it takes to save the harvest of Cabbage Patch Babies, I'll do. Or I could lose a lot of money. Come drink to the editing process, watch me flopping around like a fish, sorry for that. Never meant to resort to guillotine lines or playing for cloud cover instead of a great blue devil peering down at us with its one good eye, making only breakneck decisions for you. Stepping back into what cement's no different. These feet have already been rocked and the boots were made for walking the plank. Artificial canopy cover hides the jungles existing through fingertips. No matter how especially tragically marred, majestically before I become roadkill, soaring off cliffs. Live animals ended up forming vast circles to witness, and no amount of bad weather could keep the whole world from resurfacing after the fact. Should they call it only a facelift? I don't pace myself for jogging in place without a shiny new timer. She won't replace hours of her day with a jagged disciple like yours truly. The type of cross-vast distance who rouses neighbors, and not just anyone maintains their composure when fronted on seat. Shame spirals in a marble pattern with chocolate. They chalk my determination up to a deficiency or an undeserved miracle. Observing the beauty of stasis when tattooed in a lighter shade of blue, I can show up in showrooms unnoticed. Till that day dawns, I'll avert attention to something far less important, like politics or nuclear arsenals. The only arcade game left in a vacant mall without power plus me are the only things useful who know how to defend the fire. Favorite kid and token perfect family wedding. No knives quite sharp enough to divide the cake or the classy photos we're supposed to share. Save pieces for future reference. All of your artifacts intact from any said elated moment, lacking the foreboding pen in your gullet to claw the flawless facial skin of your childish dreams. Pleasing Satanists and or cynics who might ask for advice on finishing sermons in exchange for escape from campus classroom pathways as capillaries. I was oddly enough overarmed, refusing to take the pressure from eternal sunshine. We won't change who we think about. I was oddly enough overarmed, refusing to take the pressure from eternal sunshine. We won't change who we think about. I was oddly enough overarmed.